Alright, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we are going to be... the main feature for today's video will actually be a finals match from the East, from OP08.5, between Red Purple Law and Lucci. We're going to analyze that, break it down, have some fun with it. But we also have a little bit of something for everybody, guys. We're going to be all over the place in today's video. Let me give you guys a quick layout and tell you what we're getting into. Excuse me. So first up, we are going to be checking out a game that you see in the background here from the lab. We'll hop on that first. Ivankov VS Lucci. That should be a lot of fun. From there, we will hop over to the feature match I was talking about, Red Purple Law versus Lucci from the East. You know, very high level tournament for the finals. First place match between Red Purple Law and Lucci. Then we will hop over to OnePieceTopDecks.com and we will be kind of analyzing the meta and seeing what's going on, because it's kind of all over the place in the West and the East. So we'll check that out. We'll see what's going on there. Then we will hop over to the sim again, and we will check out a game that I played of Blue Doffy versus that game is between me, Doffy. I'm playing Doffy, and I'm going against a Vega Punk. So that one should be a little bit of fun. And then we'll finish off with the deck list that I'm using. And that is a OP08.5 list for Doffy that I was just talking about. And we'll check that out at the end, wrap it up in that way, and yeah. So guys, you know what you're getting into. I'll have everything timestamped, of course, in the general description. All relevant links in the comment section. Let's get into this, guys. You know what we're getting into. Let's do it. Okay, first and foremost, this game here. Let me make sure the volume is off. Let's make sure the playback speed is on 2x. The quality is up, and we're good to go. Okay. Ivankov versus Lucci. Somewhat of an interesting matchup. I don't even know if I've ever seen this matchup, to be honest. But it looks like we're going to start off with a buggy search, which is that is a top 5 impel down search, right, guys? Buggy is. Let me see something real quick. What were their options? I do want to look through the options. Pause. Okay. Oh, I didn't pause it. There we go. So this was the search that we got. Buggy is a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 1K counter searcher, just like a very standard searcher that looks for blue impel down cards, which is a little bit weird. Excuse me. That is only blue. But that's just how it is. You know, it is what it is. And in that case, out of all of these options, I think they only had 2 actual options. He cannot search himself up, if I'm not mistaken. But getting that Crocodile or getting Inazuma were really his only actual real options. I do like the 5-cost 7K, the vanilla body, but getting the 4-cost 5K with blocker might be a little better in this situation. Okay, so not a bad play. That was just a preference. That was a choice. And we do have the stage already as well, which is really nice with this leader. Okay, let's see what our opponent does here. It is the Lucci's turn. We're waiting for him to play here. It looks like he might have... sometimes people in their first turn go a little bit slow because they're just waiting for you to finish theirs, so they take their eyes off the game. All right, so there we go. Never punished in any way. We just drew a 5-cost 7K for the turn. So it's a really good thing that we chose the blocker instead. 3-Dawn turn here. We have another buggy we can play, or we can attack all in. I don't know what they do. I've not seen this game, guys. I have no idea who wins or loses or anything. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, I like poking for 5. And then swinging for 5 more. Excuse me. Basically taking the initiative in this game. So there was an option that turn. We have to talk about something. There's Buggy, by the way. Notice how he can only search up blue impel down type cards other than Buggy. Let me bust out the chess meter for a second. So that last turn, we had the option. We are going to go backwards and analyze this real quick, guys. We had 3-Dawn. We could have established the stage. We could have swung for 7 with our leader. We could have played out the buggy, saw what choices we got there, and then instead of playing the stage, maybe play out the 2-cost guy in his hand. But instead, we chose to be more aggressive. And I'm not going to say that's a play mistake. That's actually a preference. You decided, you know what? My opponent's down to 5 cards. Let's see what he does with this Ivankov attack. If he takes it, excuse me, then he probably changes his entire play. But if he doesn't take it, let's try to keep getting cards out of his hand. He'll go down to 4, then down to 3. I don't think so. He'll go down to 4, then back to 5, but lose 1 life instead. So that was a nice play. I did like that quite a bit. Let me go ahead and take off the accuracy meter real quick. There we go. So again, that was not like a mistake or a blunder. That was actually a book move where it's like instead of choosing to develop the board and play for next turn, they're trying to play for the current turn and keep the initiative. Okay, so we counter out of that. Of course, Buggy gets popped. That's another thing. Very good foresight and heads up on that play there. The person, who's playing Ivankov probably knew, okay, this Buggy's going to get removed very soon, right? There's no way to save this card. So let me get more value out of it right now. And they did. And then the Brook popped it just like we thought. Okay, now one more thing is notice Ivankov is going, for those who are not aware of what Ivankov, the leader, actually does, they are going to want to counter out of pretty much every single attack because their leader effect doesn't even work until they're at 0 cards in hand. Okay, so countering out of everything is very much like desirable for this deck. Okay, 5 Dawn turn, swing for 5. So here's where it gets a little bit ugly. Excuse me, for the Emporio Ivankov. Is Innie's Lobby is a -2 on the board at all times. Attacking with leader is -1 at all times. Attacking with the Brook is another -1. So they can do -4 with just what's on the board. So in other words, this Crocodile in our hand is not exactly ideal, and neither is the Inazuma. Neither is the Inazuma. This is a very tough spot to be in, and it looks like they're about to play the stage and try to get some development in those ways. Okay, I like that. So we got to draw a card, and then we can trash a card, and then I think we can trash up to 2 cards. Something like that. I can't exactly remember what the stage does, but it's something along those lines. I'll read it. I'll pause it next time he clicks on it, so we can read it. I do not play much Impel Down, guys. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Okay, swing for 5. That was interesting. I guess they're trying to... Oh, maybe they're trying to see if he'll just block with it now. So I think, well, we do want to lose cards from hand. I probably would have still blocked with it because the card is going to get KO'd, right? This Inazuma is, you know, not long for this world, right? Is that how that expression goes? He's in trouble here. Play out another Brook. Yeah, so they had it set up perfectly. I think I would have just blocked, but at the same time, that's not a bad thing. Probably, I guess we can counter out of this. Hang on a second. It probably would have been fine to block it either way or just take it. I don't think it really mattered because what I was going to say was we are trying to go down to 0 cards in hand to turn on our leader's effect. Okay, let's see what happens. So 7,000 might just counter out. Yeah, 2K, 1K. I'm not opposed to that. Okay, I am not opposed to that. So right here, oh, wow. Okay, first of all, this might be a crazy turn. Guys, let me pause. Look at the card on the screen here. I really want to show all you guys these cards, but check this out. This card on the screen, Inazuma, this is the new one that came out in EV01. It's a 6-cost, 7,000 power card with a 1K counter. The stats are already incredible, right? But look at this in a turn. Excuse me. If you have 2 or less cards in your hand, draw 2 cards. And the leader effect says the same thing, but 0 cards. At the end of your turn, if you have 0 cards in hand, draw 2 cards is what the leader says. So if you play this card out with 0 cards in hand, and by the way, like I said, with the stage, you can actually do this. You can draw 4 cards at the end of your turn, and you establish 2 massive bodies here. So watch this. That Emporio Ivankov that was just played, oh gosh, what is that one? Hang on one second. We're going to read the stage in a second. The 7-cost 7K Ivankov that was just played, it can play out a 6 or less Impel Down character from your hand. And if you have, I think it's if you have 3 or less cards in hand, you draw 2 cards as well. That's how they drew these other cards. But here we go. Look at what the stage does. You may rest this stage, and if your leader is Emporio Ivankov, you can draw 1 card and trash 1 card from your hand, then trash up to 3 cards from your hand. So here we go. We can do that. Search. Hang on, what just happened? Did they use it? I'm sorry, I missed it. I missed the stage. Oh, they chose not to do the stage. Okay, so they chose not to do the stage here. Okay, not the worst thing in the world. I'm really curious now about the leader. I'm sorry, guys. I am going to have to bring it up on the side. I do have a bar over here let me pause this. I can bring it up on the side. Y'all give me just a second. And I will read the leader for Ivankov. Because I thought that happened at 0. And in that case, what I was going to say was I would just pitch all the cards and draw 4 new cards. That's just me. But give me just 1 second, guys. Okay, so Ivankov, the leader. This is a OP02 leader. It says, end of your turn, if you have 0 cards in your hand, draw 2 cards. So that's why I was going to say I was confused why we didn't use the stage to just literally trash our hand and then go from there. But at the same time, maybe they want to play out this other Ivankov to try and cheat more really powerful cards into play. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Let's get back to the game here. We're back in it. Okay, so swing for 5, counter out, of course, because that's all about our strategy here. And it looks like they're going to go for the Inazuma. I think they're going to go for the Inazuma here. I get that. Let's see what happens. Are they going to be able to pop both? Oh, that's a horrible feeling. Looks like they've got... so Emporio Ivankov is down to 4 cost. The Inazuma is down to 2. And let's see if they have a Tempest Kick. Okay, a Helmeppo and a Lucci. Yeah. And they are going to pop the entire board here. That feels horrible. Excuse me, but we did get a pretty good card here. So they can play out the Ivankov. Remember what I was saying, guys. Playing out the 7-cost Ivankov allows you to play out a 6-cost or lower Impel Down card. And look at the card in the hand there. That is a Impel Down version of Luffy that has on play, trash 2 cards from your hand to bounce a 4 or less back to the owner's hand. And he can do that when attacking as well, and it will do that and give double attack. So actually very relevant. Actually a very relevant setup here. Buggy can do a top 5 search. Actually, they're just going to... So hang on. So, oh, they drew that card for the turn. Oh, no, excuse me. So they drew Buggy with the stage, which will draw 1 and then trash 1, and they can trash up to 3. So let's see what they do here. I would be surprised. I'm surprised they didn't decide to trash the, Well, okay, hang on. Let me go back. I want to pause on the 7 cost. So notice what this card does, guys. On play, draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. That's how it was worded. I forgot. So draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand on play, and then play up to 1 blue Impel Down type character card with the cost of 6 or less from your hand. It does have to be a blue Impel Down card. Okay, but still, this whole deck's blue, but I'm just saying because there are purple Impel Down cards as well. So guys, number 1, that art is awesome. But number 2, this card is extremely powerful. So when he plays this out, he will go to 3 cards in hand, okay? And then he will be able to play out the Luffy, which will be able to bounce 2 more cards out of his hand to bounce the Lucci back to the Lucci's hand. I know that was confusing. And then we have 0 cards in a turn. We can draw 2 cards with our leader's effect. And that is a very important thing to do in this situation. Okay, let's see what they decide to do, though. Okay, they have enough Dawn to swing 7. That card's go. They're not going to defend that. We're going to play that out. Use the card action. Okay, or don't. Okay, so they didn't want to use the card action to bounce back the Lucci. But I honestly would be challenging them here to be like, hey, do you have another way to reduce my cost 7 and 6 down to a 2 and 1? The answer is maybe. Hey, maybe they have an Ice Age in hand, and then they can do it that way, right? Anything's possible with Lucci right now. But I'm just saying, I personally think that I would have risked it. I would have bounced the Rob Lucci right back to hand, because that means he can't play out a Gecko, and then he can't play that Lucci in his hand from the trash because it's in his hand. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe there's already a Lucci in the Lucci player's trash. Sorry, guys. Lucci. I know it's very confusing. But there's a leader and a character named Lucci on the board. Okay, swing 5. Of course, we're going to counter out of that. Let's see what they have. 10 Dawn turn, -1. So the Luffy is at 5 cost. And let's see what they can do here. Now the Luffy is at 3 cost. Maybe they're going to Kaku here. Oh, no. Okay, so they're going to -2 more to what? Oh, so they dropped the Luffy down to 1. And then they play out the Rebecca, which pulled out a Brook from the trash and played it from hand. And now they're going to be able to swing 6. You're going to have to take this one. That's okay. It's a stage. That's perfect to cycle with our stage. And it looks like we can do some bottom decking on this turn, potentially. Whew. And then we get that card. That card's not bad, guys. That card is not bad. Yeah, 7 into 4. Okay, it didn't matter where he attacked, to be honest. It was probably just going to get Rebecca to counter. Swing for 8. Okay, very nice. Maybe we just yes, absolutely. So that was a great play. You read your opponent very nicely there. Let's just get this card off the board. You know what I mean? The one more thing I would do before this turn ends is I would use the stage to draw a card and trash our other stage, because we don't need that card. But I think that play was absolutely perfect there. Let's see how they end the turn. I'm sure they're going to use the stage here. Absolutely. Yep, trash the stage. Perfect. And now we've got 2 very relevant cards. If they drop down a Gecko Mori this turn, who cares? But yeah, that was perfect, though. One more thing. That was what... Let's go back real quick. Okay, so here's the beginning of this turn, right? Let me bust out the chess meter. There we go. So here's the beginning of this turn. Okay, attacking 7, and he made sure to do exact math here. 7 into 4, so they have to counter out of that. They'd have to use 2 2K counters to counter out of that. They only have 4 cards in hand. So they give the blocker. Perfect. You can have the blockers in the trash. Fine. Now we'll swing for 8 into the Brook. And then they have to give us the other blocker. Now we have 7 Dawn left, exactly what we needed. Wipe their entire board. It's gone. Yeah, the board's out of here from Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger, and then cycle after the turn. That was a excellent or best play scenario there for our Ivankov player. And I know a lot of people might be thinking, like, oh, wasn't that obvious? Well, no, sometimes the sequencing will be off, you know, where it's like, okay, that was a slight inaccuracy. That was like a perfect execution, in my opinion. Attacking first there. Not countering out with the Inazuma was a little bit wild to me. Let me move the accuracy meter too. Countering out with the Inazuma, I don't know if I would have done that personally, but hey, that is an option. We're going to be drawing more cards this game, right? Excuse me. Yeah, I think I would have taken this first hit, and then I'd have 1K countered out with this card we just drew. Gonna play out the Gecko Moria. Gonna pull back a Rebecca and a Spandine. Use Spandine's effect first. They draw Khalifa. The rest go in the trash. Then they're gonna pull a card out with Rebecca. They pull out the Brook. Very nice. We did get another Emporio Ivankov. Now I wonder if we're gonna use the stage first. I agree. Trash the. Oh, okay, interesting. I was gonna say trash the. Let me pause. I was gonna say why don't we trash the 2-cost guy, one of the 2-cost guys, and then play out the Ivankov to draw another card and see if we get something decent from there to play out, and then just go from there. But that was another option. That was another option as well. Not necessarily a play mistake. That's just the way that I would have done it. Okay, looks like we're gonna load up for 9. This is gonna come in for or come into the go into the Brook. We knew it. We knew the 6 Dawn play there. I guess once they went down to 6 Dawn, it was Gravity Blade. But at the same time, I would be okay with just attacking what you did there and then just playing out the other Ivankov, because the chances of them being able to remove both here are very low, but the chances of them having more than one Gecko Moria is very high, right? Because we're so deep into the game here. -2 there. They're going to do -2 as well. So they messed that up, I'm guessing. Hang on. So it should have been 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, they just couldn't get to 7. I was going to say they forgot to use the stage, but it looks like they couldn't get to 7. Okay, that's where Helmeppo's huge, and it looks like there's a Helmeppo in their trash. So I wonder if that was a play mistake. We are going to go back and analyze this play from the Rob Lucci. They attacked first, 5 at face, -1 to the -1 to the Ivankov. Then it should have been -2 from the stage to go down to 4, right? So -3 puts them at 4. Then they can pull back a Helmeppo and a Rebecca with the Gecko Moria effect, pull back the Brook to replace the Helmeppo, and then popping this Ivankov. I feel like that was a slight play mistake. So, but hey, it happens. It does happen. Okay, so they played out the Rebecca, the Suru, -2 there, and then let's see what happens. They drew Brook from the trash. Yeah, like I said, and I see there's a Helmeppo in their trash. It says trash Helmeppo with what? I'm so confused. What did they trash Helmeppo with? Like, it says it right here. Was it with the leader effect? They drew a Brook, play out Rebecca, deploy Brook. Brook does -1 to Ivankov, and they trashed a Helmeppo. I'm so confused, guys. I'm not sure where the Helmeppo came from, but whatever the case is, I feel like that should have been the play where they bring back the Helmeppo, then they could actually pop the Ivankov. But hey, mistakes happen. It is what it is. Oh, man. Very nice top deck. Wow, and bottom decking it. Interesting. So the way that I would have played that turn out, let me pause for a second. Here's how I would have just played this turn. Let me go back. So this is what we drew for the turn. It was the 10 cost bounce, an 8 cost, and a 3 cost Kaido. I would have attacked for the turn first, right? Attack for 5. Excuse me, attack for 5 with leader, attack for 7 with Ivankov, the character, and then play out Kaido, bouncing the Gecko and the 3 cost, what's his name, back to hand, the 3 cost Brook. Because then, okay, you couldn't remove my Ivankov last turn. What are the chances you can remove it this turn and deal with my 10 cost 12K? That's just how I would have done that. But hey, they have another play in mind. Let's see what they choose to do. They trash a card, and they choose to trash 2 more cards. Very good. Or 1 more card with the character. With the event effect, the stage effect. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. They can choose to trash up to 3 cards with that stage effect. They left the Inazuma in hand. Well, now at the end of the turn, if they choose the correct ordering for the end of turn, the end of turn sequencing, it'll be draw 2 with the leader, and then draw 2 more with Inazuma. Go back up to 4 cards. Okay, here we go. Let's attack first, so we can swing for 7, swing for 9, or just swing for 8 and 8. That's fine as well. Okay, swing for 8 and 8. Very good. Let's see what happens. And play this card out in turn. Use the leader first, then it triggers the Inazuma, and we just drew 4 cards at the end of the turn. That's where this deck, comes online and becomes very powerful. Oh, very nice. They were able to counter out of that and save the Ivankov. This 7-cost character, Ivankov, has been putting in work the entire game, guys. It has been putting in work the entire game. But that Inazuma's got to go. They realized that. They did -3 from a Tempest Kick. They're going to do -2 from the stage, -1 from the leader. That's going to be a 0-cost card, and they can pop it with Brook very easily. Okay, but it is what it is. We still had to play that card. It drew us 2 cards on the way in, right? And it kind of technically saved our Ivankov. So this card was very much worth its value. Okay, Just waiting for our opponent right now. That's all that's going on. They did a Khalifa. They'll do... Oh, okay. Uh-oh. So they're going to... Wow. Okay, so it looks like they might be able to get both of our characters. -2 to the Ivankov, -4 to the Inazuma. So, altogether, right? -4 and -4. So we have a 3-cost and a 2-cost character. Okay. Stage is going to put us at... Oh, that's what put him at -4. And now we're going to swing in with the... Are they going to play another Lucci? So swing in, but that's not going to be enough. So I don't know if they messed up the math, or maybe they weren't going to be able to do it to begin with, but they're only going to be able to pop one character here unless there's something I missed. So swing for 5 into 5. The leader, I would just counter out of this because he has no more attacks for the turn. And then they're going to be able to pop the Inazuma. Yeah, they're not going to be able to pop the Ivankov because she's still at 3. Okay, so I don't know if that was a miscalculation or what, but I don't think I would have established the Lucci there. I would have just popped it with everything I was saying with the Brook attack. But, you know, it is what it is. They're trying to go wide here. This is a turn where we're probably going to have to start eating up the board a little bit and maybe play out this Gravity Blade Raging Tiger in hand. I do like that. We have a blocker. We can bounce cards with the Luffy. We've got a lot of options here. Okay, here we go. Well, that was nice. We got that card out of the way. That's fine. Hey, that's the nice thing about cycle effects. It's like, okay, well, I didn't want to draw this card next turn anyway, so that's nice. Okay, so right here, it should be clear what you're trying to do. Your opponent should know right away. You know what? There's a world where I just go for lethal here. You know, there's a world like where I take them down to 0, and then I just Gravity Blade wherever they play next turn. But no, we do want to get our hand down to 0 to use our leader effect. Never mind, guys. Sorry. Like I said, I don't play a lot of this Impel Down, Blue Impel Down, but like I said, not the correct play there. So, but what they did was, I like that much better. Removing cards from their board, bottom decking them. You don't have to worry about them anymore. And now there's only really 2 attacks to worry about here. Okay, but it looks like that card's gone. It looks like they're going to be getting our Ivankov here. I would save that. I would not trigger the Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. I think it'll come in very handy next turn. Because what are you going to bottom deck? You know what I mean? Okay, well, I mean, they still use it to bottom deck the Spandam. That's fine. We'll take this one. We got a 2K counter from that. And see, here's where I would have used the what's it called? Oh, gosh. We are in trouble now, though. We're in lots of trouble because our opponent has a way to remove cards on the board and a blocker to protect it. I would have probably used the Gravity Blade Raging Tiger in this situation to remove the Rebecca and the Brook. But then what? Your opponent has 2 big attacks. I guess you could have played the blocker, but it still doesn't matter, right? It still just doesn't matter. Okay. I guess we can trash cards from hand, potentially. So, let me ask you this. Okay. Oh, we had already used the stage. So, I think we should have held off on the stage. Let me see something. We do the stage right here. Okay, we drew in... Oh, okay. So, we use the stage to get out the 3-cost blocker. Okay, got it. Hey, it happens. Looks like this is going to be a close game, but this is not looking good for our Ivankov player. So they did the stage, they play out the blocker here, and then it's our opponent's turn. Inazuma, we do have 2 blockers, but we only have 2K and 1K in hand, and there goes both of them, and that's going to be GG. Okay, good game. So I have to say one thing that I would have done differently towards the middle of the game here. Let me scroll through it a little bit. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Because I thought there were 2 specific plays that I would have done a little bit differently, especially when we get to the Kaido play. There was a play with Kaido here, this turn right here. So it was turn, let me go back. It was on turn 8 for us. So our 8 Dawn turn, I think you played it perfectly, where it's like, oh, cool. We used the stage. Let's go ahead and trash the 2K counter in hand. It is what it is. And I would actually just swing for 5, swing for 7, like I said, attacking into the Brook, because you know they're going to protect that with the Rebecca. So swing 5 into Brook. They'll probably give you 2K because I know you still have a 7K attack left. So they'll probably give you 2K. Then you swing for 7 into Brook. That ends up getting the Rebecca. And then I would Kaido right here and bounce both of them back to my opponent's hand, because I still have 3 life at this point, and I just need time to build up. And how is my opponent going to be able to get all these cards off the board for me? You know what I mean? Like, how is he going to get rid of a 10 cost and a 7 cost? If that makes sense. That's what I would have done. He can have the Gecko Mori and all that good stuff. Right here, this was nice. I think this is where... Hang on one second. So you go ahead and play out the Inazuma. That was still a very nice play. You get to draw 4 cards. Let's keep going. I think there was one other play where I would have gotten a little more aggressive on the board. No, I think that was it. We're just going to stop it there because I haven't talked about this for a while. The main play where I was questioning, like, a lot of this game was just incredible, like really well played all the way around. The one play for me that was a little bit questionable was the one I was just talking about. It was for this turn, right? Let me see something. We draw for the turn. Yeah, we draw Inazuma, and then we, hang on. Right. What is happening? Sorry, guys. It's like, it's messing up all over the place for me. Did I already go through this play? I feel like I keep missing it or something. Hang on one second, guys. We'll find it. Don't worry. It was when we... There, right here. I would have just played the Kaido. That's the main thing I want to say differently. Because having these huge bodies on the board, he might be able to deal with it, but there's almost no chance he'll be able to deal with this and the Ivankov. You know what I mean? It just gives us another chance to set up. And what if he can't deal with this one? What if he can only deal with the Ivankov? Now we have a way to bully the board for the rest of the game. And that's just kind of how I would go about it. But other than that, I mean, I think he played really well. You know, there is a situation in TCGs and in any game, you know, any game where there's like multiple different, you know, types of characters. Some cards or some colors in this game just counter others. And I think most people would agree that Lucci has a very, very strong matchup into blue, especially if they get turn one stage like this guy got. I think he played this one really well. Really good stuff. Like I said, there's only like one or two plays I think I'd have done differently, like the one we're looking at now, and maybe one or two others in the game that I can't remember off the top of my head, but really good stuff. Okay, y'all give me just a second, guys. Let me black out the screen. Let me move my face cam over to here. Turn off this, and let me hop in the game for the day. So, this first game here, let me turn the, so y'all can see it. That would be nice. Or not this first game, but this game we're checking out now, this is for first place. This was from a week ago, I believe, about a week and a half ago. Yeah, actually, excuse me, 1 week ago. This was 7 days ago. This is the finals matchup. Red Purple Lucci versus, Red Purple Lucci, wow. Red Purple Luffy. What is going on? Red Purple Law versus Lucci. All the L's and the Ufi and the Uchi and the Law, it just went crazy for me. So, Red Purple Law versus Lucci. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about any confusion there. Now, this matchup is for first place over in the East. Let's see what happens. We're going to break this down. We're going to analyze it and check it out and all that good stuff. Speed's on 2x, quality's up. We're good to go. Let me go and pause real quick and set up my face at the top. Get it out of the way for y'all. Okay, right there. Now we're good to go. So both players went 8-1 in Swiss, and it looks like Red Purple Law is going to get to go first. Lucci is going to go second here. They do not get a stage to start, and they did not trash them for turn, but they did trash it looks like they did trash a Gecko Moria, a Sabo, an Ice Age, and a Tempest Kick for, you know, after everything's said and done. I'm wondering if they went turn, this was their turn one, so I think they actually used an Ice Age to draw a card. Is that what just happened? I'm sorry, guys. We do have to see that. Yeah, that is what they did. Okay. Now, I will say this, guys. This is OP08.5, and starting in OP08, Red Purple Law wants to go first. They can start with the aggression. They have a relevant 3-drop in what's her name? Pudding and Black Maria. Okay. Swing for 7 with Lucci. You know, it's Lucci's turn. Swing 7. They're going to take this, of course. They get the 4-cost Law. How many cards are in the hand of the Lucci player's hand? Okay, so they have 6 cards in hand. And let me also say what they have in hand, guys. I kind of forgot to say that. The Red Purple Law player is sitting on 3 Queens, an Otama, 2 Laws, the Blocker Law, and a Black Maria. Whereas the Lucci player is sitting on Gecko Moria, 5-cost Who's Who, the 2K counter that can pop a 3 or less and trigger pop a 3 or less, a Khalifa, Rebecca, another Gecko, so 2 Gecko Morias, and a 2K counter Suru. So not bad, and they did actually get the stage. When did I miss the stage? Oh, they got it this turn. They played out the end of the turn. So that was a pretty solid draw from Lucci here, getting to the stage when he did. He didn't miss out on any tempo. Okay, so 2 Dawn collected here. Very cool. Check out the new Dawn that the player's using on the left, the Red Purple Law player. That is the new Doflamingo Dawn coming out in in PRB01. Really cool stuff. Okay, swing 5, we're showing that we have a 5 Dawn play. That can really only be 2 main things. It can only be Queen or 5-cost Kid. And in this case, it is the Queen, and that is definitely the better situation here. Plays out Queen, -1, draw 2, trash 1 for the turn. They got a Shashin Penguin and a Zoro from that. Okay, in this situation, what would you trash? Do a thought exercise right now. Which card would you trash in this situation if you're the Red Purple Law player in the situation you're in, playing against the Lucci? I personally would probably drop one of these blockers because we have 2 5-cost and 2 4-cost blockers. However, we also have 2 Shashian Penguins. I think he might even play out a Shashian Penguin here after playing out your, or excuse me, you know, how do I say that? Just cheating it out to ramp up some Dawn and get a character on the board. We'll have to see what they choose to do, though. A lot of different options here. They're going to choose to get rid of one of the laws. And this could trick the player. Okay, let me say something real quick. When the Lucci player sees that, he might think, okay, cool, he got rid of that card. Maybe I can go up to 7 cards in hand now. But he might not. I'm not saying he's just going to fall for a trick like that. But there is some potential that he doesn't choose to do anything from there. Very, very, how do I say this? Very disciplined play from the red-purple law player. Because he could have very easily -3 to get rid of this Spandam. Then go up 2 again from playing out a Shashian Penguin. He'd be at 3 Dawn, going back to 5 Dawn the next turn. So that took a lot of restraint there, a lot of discipline, and I think it was the right call because this Spandam's not really threatening. Okay, -2 there, just playing out a 2K counter, going down to 4 cards in hand. That was interesting, just to get out his who's who. Very, very interesting play here. Filling up the trash though. He's trying to keep tempo. So the Lucci player is trying to keep tempo right now so that he can drop a Gecko Moria on curve. And he trashed a Gecko Moria from his hand. Is that what happened? Hang on, I'm sorry. So for this turn, he had 2... he trashes Gecko Moria, one of his Gecko Morias in hand, to use the Who's Who effect. Interesting. All right, good stuff. Then he attacks for 6 for the turn, puts the top 2 cards in his trash from leader effect. Okay. And now it is our opponent's turn. I'm going to tell you right now, I would have swung for 6 first and see if you'd have given me anything from that or given me the blocker, because then you wouldn't have to use the 2K counter from hand. But at the same time, it is what it is. These guys practice these matchups all the time to make it to this point. You know, to make it to this place, you know, where you're 8-1 in a massive tournament, a major tournament like this, these guys put their time in testing these decks against these kinds of decks, you know, against all the meta. Okay, swing for 5. There's only 4 cards in the hand of the Lucci player. I would take this and pretty much, I would snap take this, I think, and kind of show like, yeah, I have no 2K counters in hand, even though he has 2 2K counters and a 1K. Takes it, gets a Tempest Kick, swings for 5 with the Zoro. Interesting. Chose not to play out another blocker here. Gives him a 2K counter for that Zoro. Okay. Bottom deck that card. Play out the does not play out Shashian Penguin. Plays out a... wait a minute. What just happened? So they had 3 Dawn left. Sorry, guys, I missed it. So the play this turn was return 3 to play out the Sanji. I didn't see them draw the Sanji, guys. My apologies. I didn't see them draw Sanji. So they play out the Sanji because they have 2 or more less Dawn than their opponent, as confusing as that sounds. So they're able to play out the 6-cost card for 3 Dawn. This 6-cost card came out for free with the leader's effect. Now with the remaining 3 Dawn, he is going to play out Black Maria. This is a new K counter from OP08, and it's going to put him up 8 Dawn, or it's going to put him up 5 Dawn, but then you have to go back Dawn down to what your opponent has. And the Lucci's on his 6 Dawn turn. And now, like I said, we're on 8 Dawn here, and now it's time to just drop Gecko Moria and see what happens. I think that's the play, unless I miscounted, unless he's on 7 Dawn. Which, no, there's no way, because the Lucci player, the Luffy, goodness gracious, the red-purple law player is at 6 Dawn. That means the Lucci player was as well. I think you just drop Gecko Moria. I don't think there is any other option here. You just drop a Tempo Gecko and go for it from here. But we'll see what he does. I would swing 5. I would swing 5 into this guy first. Oh, whoa, okay. Interesting. So swinging 6 into the Zoro, forcing a 2K counter. We're about to talk about this, guys. We're about to talk about this. So he swings 6 into the Zoro. We have 2 2K counters in hand, and yeah, that Shashian Penguin, I don't even know if we need anymore, because we're going to be at 8 Dawn next turn. Yeah, so there's that. -2. So what is that? He has -1 and -2 on the Sanji, I believe. So 2 3-cost characters here, or 2 3 Dawn. Oh, no. I bet he did -1 to the Zoro, and then -2 to the Sanji, and now he's going to pop them with Tempest Kick. Okay, Tempest Kick plus what? Okay. Man, I'm so confused, guys. I must have missed everything there. Playing out these cards right here just doesn't seem right to me. Playing out these 2K counters from hand to pop individual cards, he must have nothing in his trash. Let me go back to where he had the trash fanned out. I'm just going to tell you what I would do here. Okay, right here. So this is what he has in his trash at the time. Well, he does not have a Lucci. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, so I will say this. The player on the right, the Lucci player, has no 4-cost Luccis in hand. Okay? Or, excuse me, in trash or hand. So I guess that's why he's not able to use any kind of value gecko. But in that situation, then I'm just going to pull back 2 cards from the trash no matter what, right? I guess here's what I'm trying to say. I still would... Okay, I still would have done things a little bit differently. I would have swung 5 with my Lucci first to see if he counters out. And if he doesn't counter out, then you can actually swing into his blocker, the Sanji. You could go all in on attacking into that Sanji. So here we go. Hang on one second, guys. Okay, right here, I would do a blank 5 at Zoro. And if he tries to counter out, or excuse me, if he counters out, then that's fine. Then I just drop Gecko Moria. If he doesn't counter out and he blocks with Sanji for free, then I think I just swing 5 more into the Zoro, and I still just develop a Gecko Moria here. That's just the way that I would do it, because what are you playing for in your hand? Like, there is nothing. You know what I mean? There's nothing we have in hand that can help us get out of this situation. Popping 1 character, I mean, don't make me laugh, right? Don't make me laugh. We're at OP08, guys. If you're not popping 2 characters a turn, what are you doing? Okay, let's see what happens here. So swings for 6. That's going to be an easy 2K counter. And like we already saw, this guy's doing the math on it. Let's see. So 2K counter with the Shashin Ping. We already saw this part. And then right here, okay, -2. And what is he going to do? He's going to go ahead and pop for 5. What card is he going to trash here? Yeah, trash the Rebecca. That was the only possible solution there, unfortunately. Swing for 7 into the Zoro. So not too bad. That ended up working out okay. But like I said, I'd rather just drop the Gecko Moria because I have 3 life. This was my last chance to drop Gecko Moria. That's the way that I would see this in my head. Like if I am the Lucci player, that was my last chance to actually play Gecko Moria this game. Not to say he needs it. Maybe he can win without it. But I'm just saying that was a very serious situation there. Okay, so we have to trash a card here. Let's play another game. What card do you trash in this situation? In the situation we're in against Lucci, what card do we trash here? I doubt it will be the Reiju. Is it too late to play a Eustace Kid? We're at the stage of the game now where it might be too late to play Eustace Kid. Or even the 4-cost Law. I think it's a tie between 4-cost Law and 5-cost Kid. All right, let's see what they choose to do. Oh, they almost reached straight for the 4-cost Kid, it looked like. At least from this angle. Yes. Gets rid of that. He's like, yeah, you're not getting back to 7 cards this game, buddy. There's no way. But he is a blocker, right? It does have added utility and a 1K counter. Okay, let's start getting cards from hand. So right here, he has 3 Dawn left for the turn. He is going to be able to bottom deck something potentially if he plays out Otama, which I would, personally. -3. Does not choose to play out the Otama there. Interesting. So I think what I would have done in this situation is I would have played out Otama, -2 to the standing Who's Who, bottom deck it to cheat out this Reiju like we already know, and then for 3 Dawn, we can swing into the other one and get rid of that one as well, into the other Who's Who, and then we're back to square 1 for this guy. Okay, so 5 into 5. Like I said, he's not going to be able to remove both characters, it doesn't look like this turn, but hey, 5 into 5. If I'm the Lucci player, I'm not giving him Rebecca. Oh, he swung at face. Okay, wow. So what could that be? Is this a Tempest Kick? If it's Tempest Kick, I would pop the Black Maria, like, pretty much, like I said, I think I would just snap pop the Black Maria here, if it is a Tempest Kick. What else can it be? Interesting. Okay. So play out the play out the Sanji, and then he goes, okay, now I'm going to use my Black Maria to ramp back up to like 7 Dawn here. Or 8 Dawn. He'll be at 8 Dawn. Okay. I might have used the Tempest Kick there, guys, personally. But hey, that's okay. Let's see what happens. He is still trying to get a Lucci in the trash. There's no doubt about it right here, guys. He is just trying to get Lucci in his trash right now. The Lucci player is just trying to get the 4-cost Lucci in his trash. Okay, unless I missed it. Unless I didn't see it go in the trash. And like I said, this is where I think this was like our last turn was like our last chance to play Gecko Moria. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Maybe they try it here. I mean, you still can play it here, right? You still can play it, but we just don't have the Luccis in our trash. Okay, so he did Tempest Kick. Let's use another one. What do we draw? Okay, and it is a Rebecca. Ah, man, this guy kind of just bricked is what's going on here. Okay, let me say one more thing. Before I would have done anything here, I would have swung for 5 with my leader just to give -1 to a character, and then saw what went into my trash. Because look what would have gone into trash, guys. I know we can't know this at the time, but watch this, guys. This is what would have gone into trash if he attacked with his leader first. Okay, that was a stage, and then he uses the other Tempest Kick, and he gets a Rebecca. He already has a Rebecca in hand. You know what I mean? Watch. Tempest Kick, -3 more to something. Hang on, we're just waiting for him to play it out. Yep, and we got a Rebecca. We could have gotten both of those into the trash, and then we could have used our Tempest Kicks accordingly, you know, depending on what he did there. He would have just blocked, of course. All right, let's see what happens. It's not over yet. We still can swing with our leader to get some kind of idea. And I'm going to be honest, guys, it does not look good for the Lucci player because he did not draw a single 4-cost Lucci. Or even Kaku or Jack. I know one Jack is in his trash. Excuse me. And I think that's what he's waiting on. I think he's just trying to get that. But in this situation, you have to go. Like, okay, yeah, unfortunately we didn't get the card we wanted, but we have to play with what we have access to. We have a Brook to pop cards right now. We can swing with our leader to -1 something and use the stage. We have a lot of different things we can do. And actually, I would play out a Rebecca in order to play out that, the Brook. And this is why, okay, this is why it would have been so important to pop that Black Maria with the Tempest Kick. First of all, it didn't draw us into anything, even though we couldn't have known that. It doesn't matter. We don't know what we're going to draw anyway. So it's like, why take that chance? I can just remove that character from the board when it had not even used its effect yet, and he would have stayed at 4 Dawn for the turn. That would have actually helped us out quite a bit, especially if he goes to try to swing for lethal next turn. But anyway, let's see what happens here. So he swings for 5, -1 into Queen. He blocks with the Queen, because why not? What did he get in trash? Hang on. So he swings for 5. And let's see what he got in the trash swing. Lucci. There we go. Okay, he got a Lucci in the trash. Very nice. That is yet another reason why I would have actually swung with the leader first to put 2 cards in trash. Then when we did our 2 Tempest Kicks, we would have drawn into the other cards we needed. But it's better to do it that way no matter what, right? Because if we attack first and get 2 cards into trash, then we know right away we have to use Tempest Kicks. Whereas it might have changed the other way around. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm talking about that for the actual Gecko Moria play here. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what he does. I don't know what he got everything down to. He might have to... I wonder... He should be able to... Yes, he should be able to Gecko Moria, grab back Rebecca and Helmeppo or a Suru. He might only have Suru in his trash. I don't know. Okay, he has... It's... Okay. Okay, so I guess he did not have a Spandine in his trash to do the Wombo combo. So -2 with the Suru. We're going to get rid of this card. Or minus... Yeah, we're going to get rid of both blockers. We have our Lucci down. But guess what, guys? Did you notice there's no blockers on the field? And now our opponent is going up to 10 Dawn. Because we chose not to pop the Black Maria, our opponent is now up to 10 Dawn. They have a Kid and Killer in hand. We have 2 life, 4 cards in hand, and no blocker. This is a nightmare situation for the red-purple law player, or the Lucci player. Yeah, time to swing for 7s. We're going to take that. Yikes. There's our 4th Gecko Moria we saw for the game. We had 2 in hand. 1 went to our trash in the beginning, and then we just got 1 from life. So we saw all 4 Gecko Morias. We saw our Lucci's too late. That's just a bricked up hand. That's just unlucky. But I still think we could have done things a little bit differently. Not trying to be too critical. There's a few different things I would have done here. And you guys tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. Because I'm pretty sure this game's over. Like I said, I have not actually seen this game. But this is, the writing's on the wall. What do you do now? I mean, don't you just -3 right here, bottom deck the Suru, play out the Kid and Killer, and swing for how much? 3, 6, plus 7, swing for 13. Okay. Okay, GG. All right, let me get to the winner. There we go. GG. Very good game there. Very well played by the red-purple law player. A little bit a little bit unfortunate for the Lucci player. It happens. He could not see a Lucci early enough, but there was one turn I want to talk about. Playing out these guys right here, these 2K counter who's. This turn right here was very interesting to me. Swinging for 6 into here is what was the most interesting thing to me. Because I think I personally would rather just swing 5, let him tap the Sanji sideways, and then maybe we just go for 1 character with what's on board, and then, like I said, just develop the Gecko Moria. Because like I said, so I just swung 5 at the Zoro. He would block with the Sanji 9 times out of 10, swing 5 more into Zoro, get a card out of hand, and just slam Lucci, or just slam Gecko Moria. I understand there's no good cards to get back, but it's still a tempo play. He had been building up every turn before this just to do that by playing out these Who's Who so aggressively. So why not try to capitalize on it, even though it's not perfect? Because then we could have got cards back on the field, we could have filled out the board, had other options, and an 8 cost 9K, look what's in our opponent's hand. He had no way of dealing with that. He had absolutely no way of dealing with an 8 cost 9K. We would have gotten at least 1 character off the board with it the following turn, and we could have gone from there. That would have determined whether he swung with his attackers or not. And then one other major, I'm sorry, and this all compounded from the problem here. So imagine right here, hang on 1 second, guys. Let me keep going to right when he takes this life, right here. Imagine if we had an 8 cost Gecko Moria on the board here. They would still have their Sanji. They might still have their Zoro. They might have let it go. Who knows? But let's just say they still would have had their, at least had their Sanji. But we have an 8 cost 9K on the board. And then we pop their Black Maria where they're down to 4 Dawn now. You know what I mean? Like, that changed everything not playing out tempo like that. And I feel like it kind of punished him. But I think he still played it well, given the cards he was given. He never saw the 4 cost Lucci in time. That was rough. But at the same time, we still have to try to make the most optimal plays. Now, I don't know if those were the most optimal plays in the situation he was in. Okay. And let me say one more thing. I agree with playing out the first Who's Who. I think that was actually fine. But the second one, I think, was a little bit greedy in my personal opinion. Okay. Well, that's it for that game. Let's go ahead and hop over to the sim real quick. We're going to check out a game that I played versus Vegapunk. Playing OP08 Lucci. Or Doffy. OP08.5 Doffy. Okay, volume is off, speed is on 2x, and we are good to go, guys. Let's do this. Whoops, play. So Vegapunk, man. Vegapunk is kind of popping up now. He did get a top 4 placing at a recent, actually at the tournament we just watched. Spoiler warning, the Red Purple Law that won the tournament beat the Vegapunk in top 4. And then he went on to beat the Lucci we just saw. So this leader is very strong, but I do think it is not great into something like Lucci or something like Red Purple Law. That's just me. We'll have to see what happens. And of course, I have no idea what this guy's running. I'm not saying this is the deck that won, but you know, we have no idea. All right, so real quick, let me pause it. I played out the Crocodile there. I revealed a 7 Warlords with a C card, so I was able to draw 2, and now I can put 1 from my hand on top of my deck, excuse me. I put the 6 cost back because I just don't need that right now. It's fine. I don't have any special play to go off of that. Swing 6 and a 5. Let's give a 2K counter. And then he's going to pop it and pop my Jinbei. That's fine. We're not in really any crazy rush here, but I will say, you know, we do need to start filling out the board a little bit before it gets out of hand. Because, another spoiler warning, I watched the game of Vegapunk versus Doffy in the top 16. I think it was either top 8 or top 16. And man, Vegapunk demolished that Doffy player. So we are kind of on a clock where we can't just let them play out a bunch of really high value stuff there. Okay, so I had no other follow-up play, unfortunately, because all my characters got KO'd the following turn, or the turn prior. So I didn't have any follow-up attacks to do, and I just had 3 Dawn left over. I was in a very weird situation there, and unfortunately I'm going second this game. I will always rather go first with Doflamingo. It is what it is, right? It just is what it is. Okay, so right here I can play out some cards. Swing for 7 into Edison. Go ahead and throw out a card from the top of my deck. I have pretty much, I think I have like a 90% chance to just blind hit a card from the top, guys. So I hit the new Boa Hancock. This is a blocker on play top 3 arrangement. And then you put a Rested Dawn card onto your leader or character. Okay, so I do want to get that card. Hang on, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. I really just want to get the Doflamingo, I think. Or be able to play it out next turn with an attack. Right here, play out the Edward Weevil. And it's my opponent's turn. So I'm trying to fill out the board. That's the situation we're in. I need to go as wide as possible or I'm not going to be able to win this game. Okay, I will trash a life from that Charlotte Linland. That card is outrageously good, guys. That card is outrageously good. Can't let him have that. We're going to have to give him a card from hand here. I think I should have given him the 4 cost 5K Crocodile, but that's okay. All right, let's see what happens here. So in this situation, I think it's time to start attacking into the board here. I get the Edward Weevil. And then I'm going to go ahead and... how did I know did I know that Edward Weevil was coming? I thought I had set something else there. I can't remember. Anyway, we're going to make it where that card cannot attack. Now we're going to play out a buggy and make sure we set our top cards the way we need them for next turn. Getting a 2K counter and being able to play a Gecko Moria from the hand. The 4+5K Gecko, that can get us a card from our trash. Now my board is starting to look pretty good. One mistake here is I should have attacked in. Okay, pause. I should have absolutely attacked in here to save my Boa, but I guess at the same time, it wouldn't have saved it, right? It would not have saved my Boa, because then they could have just gained a life first and then popped it. So they could have popped a 6 cost pretty much no matter what here. Okay, but I did have a feeling that was coming. I'll just be honest, guys. I had a feeling he was going to play that. He plays out the Shaka, and that would have slowed him down, though, at least. So I think I still should have attacked. But no, at the same time, then he could have gotten a card back from his trash, like right here. He's going to get back the Lilith, do a top 5 search, swing for 6 and a leader. I'm just kind of beating him up at this point because I see that, like, this is not going well. I knew Gecko was coming. We did set that there. We'll grab a 2K counter here and pass the turn because I have to defend my board here. One thing I should have done there. Wait, did I? Oh, okay. I thought I passed the turn. I was like, whoa, 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 what's going on? He was getting a trigger. So Gravity Blade, get his 2 biggest characters I can off the board, a 3+5K and a 5+6K. Your turn. I will be aggressively countering out of these cards right here because I don't have a chance next turn. If I can't save these cards on the board, I do not have a chance next turn. He still has 10 Dawn left. It's probably going to be another Yamato and then a leader effect. Okay, we'll see what happens here. I will talk about this deck list after we're done. I would like to add something to it. I'd like to add Red Rock to it if I haven't already. It might be in this version. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief here because he played out a Luffy to pop one of my cards. I thought he was going to play out a Yamato to get big value there and go up a life. Swing 8 and a 6. I just can't let him have it, right? Like, I just can't let him have that card. I have to try to go for lethal this turn. Okay, so right here we go. Let's go ahead and swing for 6. Let's see if he wants to give me that card. Swing for 6. Maybe I'm not swinging for lethal this turn. I can't remember. Okay, swing for 7. Play out this Crocodile. All right, we're just waiting for my opponent here. I'm basically trying to bait him into using this so I can hit his field with my Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. Let's see what he does. Swinging 7 here. This is going to take some cards out of hand if he doesn't. Okay, just as we expected, he plays out Edison, draw 2, trash 2. That's a pretty good card to pull back, though. I will say, that's pretty good. Now we're in a Gravity Blade, clear out what we can. He can clear 2 of my characters this turn, but he only has 5 cards in hand. So if I play this correctly by saving one of them, now I should be able to go for game. I'm trashing a life every time, right? There's no way I'm saving that. And let's see what he does here. He has to gain a life, right? There's just no other way. And look at what he gains a life with, guys. That was absolutely brutal. That was like, oh crap. Okay, how do we go about doing this? That card right there is insane, guys. That card is so insane. So honestly, I think I should have just swung for 5 here. So looking back, I think I should have swung for 5 with the Crocodile, because that would have forced him to take the life to pop my Edward Weevil, and now I have 10 Dawn left to get 2 attacks across, where my opponent only has 3 cards left in hand. All right, swing for 7. That's fine, too, because he'll probably take this. If he doesn't, that would just only be in my favor. Yep, pop the Crocodile. Very nice. All right, so I'm like, okay, if that 7 went through, I hope this one does. We just got to chance it. Okay, got that. None of that matters. Literally none of that matters right now. Because I'm going all in on this Buggy right here. Buggy's about to get there, guys. Buggy's about to get there. Swing for 8. It's all I've got left. He could only get to 8. GG, that was a close one. Guys, this deck right here, this new version of Vegapunk is very good, man. It is very, very solid. Okay, now I will be covering some more Doffy in the future. I think this leader is also solid. And guys, I totally skipped out on, I kind of went out of order. I do apologize. We were going to check out the meta. Don't worry, I will adjust it in the comment section saying like, hey guys, I had to move the meta to the end here before we go over the deck list. So let's talk about the meta real quick. Spoiler, showed you a little spoiler there. Look at this, guys. Everyone's starting to hop on Doflamingo. This new version of the deck, we're only going to look at one of them, guys, but it's like they're all pretty much the same. Excuse me. This is what they all look like now, guys. Very, very solid. 4 Geckos, 2 Doffy. Well, okay, the Perona and the Doflamingo, I don't know about that. We'll look at some other lists as well, but I think there's some other stuff going on here usually. They have the 4 Buggy, but all right, let's keep going. 2 Doffy, 2 Perona, 4 Inazuma. That's interesting. I guess they're running out of cards too quickly. 4 Edward Weevil, 4 Crocodile, 4 Jinbei, 4 Sengoku, 4 Trafalgar Law, the 2K counter, 4 Crocodile, 4 of the other Trafalgar Law that bounces, 4 Buggy, 4 of the Boa that's a blocker, and 2 Marshall D. Teach. So one thing I think that's interesting is the Inazuma. This is the only card that I'm like, wait, what? I know some decks run Doflamingo, some run Perona, some run Marshall D. Teach, and they run them at all kinds of different numbers. It's kind of just a preference thing. They all kind of serve the same function. The Sengoku, I've seen that everywhere, but this card is the only card that I've not seen that is just absolutely wild, guys. Check this out. Very strange. Okay, we'll flip through 1 or 2 more, just to give you guys a heads, or just to show you guys. 2K counter Draco Mihawk over one of the other 2K counters, that's fine. You could run this over like the Crocodile or over one of the other 2K counters, but everything else is pretty much the same. They're not running the Perona, but they are running 1 Kaido. Now, guys, people who follow the channel for long enough know, I'm not a huge fan of this card. However, when it's in the right deck, like Doflamingo, I think it's actually pretty good, and it would be perfect as a 2-of. I think this card would be perfect as a 2-of. Very solid card here. I like the Gravity Blade Raging Tigers, and the Perfume Femur as a 1-of. That's interesting. Everything else pretty much straightforward, very straightforward for the list. They are running 2 puddings. I do like the Tech Pudding as well, because this will really help out your yellow matchups, maybe... I don't know. This card can just help you against any matchup. I'm going to be honest, guys. Any matchup, this card can help you against. Very, very solid. And we will look at the last one of these top ones here. And dead on. Everything pretty much the exact same with a few different choices here and there. No 10-cost Kaido. And then the numbers have been moved around, and they're running Perona instead of the 3-cost Doflamingo. But it's a very standardized list now that you can expect to see going forward. Red Purple Law is still doing what he's doing. This is probably the exact same deck we just saw win the finals. This is not from that tournament. This is just a 64-player tournament. But this is the list now, guys. It's been, like, completely solved. You just run... It's 4 Otama, 8 of the 1-cost minus 3K, 2 Zoros, 4 Kid Killer, 4 Queen, 4 Reiju, 4 Shashin Penguin, 4 Sanji, 4 Law, 4 Kid, 4 Pudding, and 4 Black Maria. This is pretty much a totally standardized list. This is what you can expect to see going forward. Unless something happens on August 12th that has to do with bans and restrictions, that might affect it. That's just what you can expect going forward. This list is pristine. It is excellent. It is battle hardened. It's proven. It is a veteran level deck, right? It's been there, done that, seen it all. It's got the scars and the trophies to prove it. More Red Purple Law here. Let's look at Reiju. Has not changed a whole lot. Now they just play with Porsche in the list, and apparently this guy Sasaki, interesting. 3-cost 4K on play Dawn -1 to draw a card. Okay, that's a nice tech card. I have not seen this in Reiju, guys. Remember what Reiju does, guys. When you do Dawn -1, you draw a card from the leader as well. So if you play this on curve, like right on turn, let's just say you go first and you go second, or excuse me, say you go first. You know, 1 Dawn, pass, get stage. This guy's not running stage. Interesting. All right, we're about to look at this list, guys. Hang on. There's some crazy stuff going on here. Typically, you would do the stage, but maybe in this case, you just do the search or event. But then turn 2 on 3 Dawn. Play this guy out to Dawn -1, draw a card from him, draw a card from him. Next turn, you're on 4 Dawn. You've already fixed yourself in Dawn. Now you can play even more cards out, especially if you counter out aggressively the turn prior. So really, really good stuff there. I really like this Sasuke. That's actually a pretty interesting tech card. Pretty cool stuff there. Everything else is pretty much the same outside of what we were seeing at the bottom here. Excuse me. So this Porsche card, notice what it does. It is a, 3-cost 5K. On play, Dawn -1, so we're going to draw a card after we do this effect, right? Or we could choose to draw a card first, I believe. Whatever the case. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and you may add 1 Foxy Pirates to your hand. Place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. So notice it can even grab Porsche. It can even grab another Porsche. Then, you may play up to 1 4,000 power or lower purple character from your hand. So what kind of targets do we have in here? Well, first of all, there's this card called Black Maria. Then there's, does it have to be a purple card? Let me see something. Then you would play up to 1 4,000 power or lower. Yeah, it does have to be a purple card, so you can't play out Kaya, but that's okay. But look at what it can search up, by the way. This is a Foxy Pirates, and Jean is a Foxy Pirates. So there's actually 12 searchable targets in this deck for Porsche, and that's a top 5 search. And then you could play out a 4,000 power or lower purple character. You could play out Chopper. You could play out Gina. I probably wouldn't. But then you could play out Mr. 2 Boncray Bentham. You can play out any of these small cards up here, including Sasaki. So there's a lot of potential there, guys. That's actually very interesting. This is a really cool version of Reiju. I really like this quite a bit. But we're seeing Red Purple Law. We're seeing Doffy's, Reiju. A little bit of Ace popping up here and there. I will at least check that. Guys, if you want to look at the list and it's in its entirety and study it and try it out, hop on OnePieceTopDecks.com. I'll leave the link in the comment section below, and you guys can check out things how you want to. But notice what's going on here, guys. A lot of events, because that's what Ace needs. And then it's got some more ace support. This was probably the best thing to happen to the new, to the old ace leader. This new ace card, the character card. Rush in this deck. It's a 5 cost, 6,000 power, 1k counter, and it has resilience. If this character would be removed from play by your opponent's effects. So if they try to life it, if they try to bottom deck it, if they try to KO it, if they try to trash it, you get to cancel that first attempt and then minus 2,000 for the turn. Really, really powerful. Okay, what else? We got Luffy in here as a 1-up for a finisher. 3 Edward Newgates. We've got 4 of the Ezo searchers for all these Whitebeard cards. And it's running 1 dragon. That's pretty spicy. This is a pretty cool version. Good stuff here. All right, let's keep going. Of course, Lucci. Now, this was the card, or the leader that I wanted to look at. Check out this new version people are messing with. We're going to see a lot of different versions pop up. But I have to say this right now, guys. I do think there is something there for film. I was trying a Straw Hat Film hybrid deck. Maybe we go all in on film. Raise max in this deck, guys. Number 1, you can give it rush. If you need to, you can give it rush, because that is not an on play. That's an activate main. But this card in this deck can do a lot of things. Excuse me, think of it like this. I can pay 1, give this card rush, attach 3 Dawn, swing for 5 into something, something smaller, and then I can pop this card, activate main to, bottom deck it, and then minus 3,000 power to another character, and smash it with something else on the board, like a Pell or something like that. So who knows? Maybe going forward, maybe film is, and this is a film card, by the way, guys, Film Revo Army. Maybe film is the way going forward for Sanji. We'll have to see. You got these huge 6 cost 8Ks here, 7 cost 9Ks. These are both film cards, guys. Yasop and Ben Beckman. Nice 2K counter in Beppo. And I think Jinbei is not film, but he is still a solid 2K counter. Dawn times 1 when attacking effect. Yep, we want that in Sanji, right? We want that card in here. And check out this other 2K counter, guys. This is a 4 cost, 5,000 power 2K counter. Dawn times 1 when attacking. This character gains plus 1,000 power until the start of your next turn. Then at the end of this turn, trash one of your film type characters. So, you can trash something like the Luffy right after you got his value. Maybe, I wouldn't trash Backrap, but there's other cards as well. Maybe trash, like, I don't know. Maybe just trash the card. Just let it go, right? Who cares? But there are some options there. I think the best option would be Luffy in this case. After swinging with it, then you smash in with the Saga from hand, trashing the Luffy at the end of turn, and now you have a 4-cost 6K on the board until the start of your next turn. Got 4 Gordons. I didn't even see the Gordon up here, guys. They have 6 of these 1-cost 2K minus 3,000 power characters. Just high value, and this is all film, guys. Everything you see here is film, except Wapol, and because this is just a strong card in Sanji, and then this guy, Jinbei. I think, oh, and of course Pell. Pell is obviously not film, but everything else is, guys. Every single one of these other cards outside of Wapol, Jinbei, and Pell are film. That's including Gordon, that's including Raise Max, Shiraya, Saga, Yasop and Ben Beckman, of course, Beppo, Backrat is also film. Really good stuff here, guys. Okay, but other than that, check out this format. It looks pretty nice. Yes, of course, we're still seeing an overwhelming majority of the top 3 to 4 decks, right? Which currently in the West for OP08.5, it's actually like 5 decks now. It is Red Purple Law, Lucci, Black Yellow Luffy, and Nell, and I believe the new Doffy. That's what I've seen at least going around. But I think we're going to start seeing more Red Blue Marco popping up, and look, Uda's popping up here and there. The format is starting to get pretty well figured out, and I think it's going to really depend on what we see. Oh, by the way, check this out. I'll leave this up for y'all to look at while I'm talking. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the bans and restrictions announcement on August 12th. Because, guys, that's just a week away now. It's just a little over a week away at the time you're recording this video. That could change up everything, okay? And then that could make for a very healthy format, potentially. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, check this deck out, guys. This is an ST14, the 3D2Y Straw Hat Crew deck, where it increases the cost of your characters. That allows for this card Sanji. Pause and read this if you don't know what it does. This card is very, very strong in this kind of deck where you can put down this stage on turn 1 to draw a card, and now all your Straw Hat Crew characters have +1. All the black Straw Hat Crew characters. And this one's running a promo card. Okay, check this out. 7 cost, 7,000 power. On play, give your leader or one of your characters up to 1 rested Dawn. That's pretty good, guys. That's pretty good. And then when attacking, if you have a cost 8 or greater character in play, draw 1 card, then discard 1 card from your hand. Well, guess what? With the stage down, he satisfies his own when attacking. You know what I mean? So, it is a win attacking, but still, that's very solid. Okay, well, that's about it for the West, guys. Like I said, go on OnePieceTopDecks.com and check it out. There's a lot of different looking decks in here, guys. This is a very healthy looking format. Yes, like I said, I know that Red Purple Law and Lucci are still very, very dominant. But guys, other than that, things look very, very good right now. Because a lot of times, you got to remember, people go to these tournaments not try. They don't want to try something new, right? They want to play what they know wins because they're trying to win prize money. That's not to say other decks can't compete with them. Some people are just too scared to try them, right? That's what happens a lot of times. Okay, now let's check out the West real quick. Also very crazy over here in the West, guys. Look at this. Just looking at these top 10, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then, yeah, in the top 10 pairings up here, there are 8 different decks. Yeah, I mean, and this is just random. Look, play TCG. Look at this play TCG, guys. First place Nami. This is what I was talking about, I think, in yesterday's video. Gen Con Treasure Cup, first place Nami in a 500-player tournament. Gecko Morio was second place. This is OP07. Okay, guys, understand that. This is OP07. And you have no Lucci, no Red Purple Law in the top 2 spots of this Treasure Cup. That's not bad, right? I mean, I understand a lot of people don't like Nami. I get it. That's fine. If you don't like it, you don't have to. A lot of people don't like Lucci. A lot of people don't like Uda. A lot of people don't like Red Purple Law. A lot of people don't like Black Yellow Luffy. Fill in the blank. But look at all this variety, guys. It's all over the place. We're seeing Enel. We are seeing some Red Purple Law. We're seeing some Lucci. We're seeing Bonnie. We're seeing Black Yellow Luffy. We're seeing Doffy, Nami. Doffy's not even that strong yet in OP07. In OP08.5, it goes to a whole nother level, right? It goes to an entirely different new level. But yeah, like I said, check it out, guys. Here's a random first place Red Black Sabo list at a 25-player tournament. Okay, we're starting to see some really cool stuff. I understand the local tournaments don't mean a whole lot. I get it. But guys, like I said, look, here's a 900-player tournament. All right, 2 Luccis, Doffy, Nami. That's your top 4. Top 4 is 2 Luccis, a Doffy, and a Nami. And then in the top 8, we got 2 Bonnies, Black Yellow Luffy, another Lucci. And then top 16, we get a Red Purple Law and a Bonnie. But it's just all over the place, guys. I think it's a very healthy sign. Very good. Especially this one here, right here. 500-player tournament, Nami, Gecko, and Luffy. Black, Yellow, Luffy. So really a blue deck, a black deck, and a yellow deck in the top 3 right there. You know what I mean? And I get it. There's Gecko Moria in all of these 3 decks. I get it. But still, I think it looks pretty good. I'm not too upset about this. And I think it can only get better from here, especially, like I said, once we see what happens after August 12th. Okay, now we can check out. Sorry, guys, I had to go a little bit out of order there. I forgot I was going to do the breakdown, the actual meta breakdown. But now we can check out the deck list I was running in my game. We've got Doflamingo here. This is my version of the list. It is not complete. Do not copy. I mean, you can use this if you want to. I will put the link in the comment section below, or the deck list down there. But this is not finished. This was just something I threw together. And in fact, if I were to try an OP08.5 build, I would try one of the Doffy lists we already looked at earlier in this video from OnePieceTopDecks.com. But I am trying something like this right now. It's not much different than everybody else's, but I do think I'd rather have, because, okay, I can battle for the board probably better than any deck currently, as long as your characters are 4 to 7k. Like, if your characters are, like, I'll even say 5 to 7k. I can battle the board into the 5 and 7k characters very easily, and then potentially even the 8 and 9k characters when I get this card down. However, the big characters that like bounce or like Katakuri, Ace, Zoro, things like this, the really big 8+ cost characters, I think I'm going to remove these Gravity Blade Raging Tigers for Red Rocks. Now, I understand this card is very good, but like I said, I'd rather take my chances on the board, especially now that I also have Trafalgar Law where I can bounce a 4 or less. I know this bounces a 6 or less. I'm just saying. Boa can shut down attacks for the turn. Trafalgar Law can slow them down enough. I just need to be able to deal with the big characters, like the 10 cost characters, the 9 cost, and the 8 cost characters. Everything else, I'm going to fill the board out and just battle your board, right? Because that's just the nature of this leader. This leader can just fight. He can just fight the board and just cheat cards off the top of the deck. And look at this, guys. There's only 2 cards in this entire deck that I cannot just randomly get off the top. The only 2 cards are literally Boa Hancock and this stage. Every single other card on here I can get randomly off the top of my deck. So that's actually really good for what we're trying to do, right? And I would probably try to keep that ratio at something like 10 or under cards that you can, that are like bricks from the top of your deck. So that way your chances are very high of just randomly hitting this when you're in a pinch, when you're in a tight situation. Okay? All right, that's it, guys. I'm done rambling. Hope y'all enjoyed. Let me get the where is it? I got to move this down. Where is my... There we go. All right. Got to put the playmat page up here. Thank you to everybody who's bought in a playmat. I do still have about 45 left, 45 or 50 left of them. So if you're interested, hit me up, whether it be on Discord or check out the video. It's all on my page. I have it set up through PayPal. So if you're still interested, it's $35 for anyone in the United States. And if you're outside the United States, I think it's like $55 after everything's said and done. So, but if you're out of the state, please, or out of the country of the United States, please hit me up first before I go sending it off, and before you go sending money. So that's that. So thank you so much for all the playmat supporters. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank y'all so much. And then for the let me just be more clear real quickly, guys. If you're from outside of the United States and you do want to play mat, that's no problem. Just message me on Discord first so we can work it out that way, because I have sent one package to Greece and I have sent one package to Europe. I think it was in Luxembourg. So I'm not afraid to send stuff off, and from what I understand, they both got their play mats. So, it did work out. If you're interested, message me on Discord and we'll talk about it, because I think it ends up being about $55 for international shipping altogether. Like, you would only pay the $55, but again, first check with me and then we'll figure it out from there. Now I can move on. Thank you so much, guys, to the playmat supporters, and thank you so much to the VV Pirates patron page. Everybody on here for just donating, just to help the cause out. I appreciate you guys so much. Y'all are awesome. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you to everybody who watches, subscribes, shares, comments, likes, all that stuff, guys. I really appreciate y'all. The channel's just been growing like crazy lately, and I really do appreciate you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace.